All right, fuck it, intro, brother. We're here.
Sorry.
We
Okay, I gotta
have
do
what was it? It was 10, 11, and 12 of Ice Queendom. We're not doing no intro. Okay, we're not even gonna do an outro because
this.
we're here. We just finished
So
episodes.
you live?
I'm not live. You want to do both of them live?
Oh no, okay, you're good. Yeah.
Okay,
Never
yeah.
mind. You
I'm
continue.
leaving that in, by the way. I'm not editing that out.
Okay. Sorry, I'm tweaking. Everybody, I'm
This
tweaking.
guy's a sicko. But yeah, we just like not even 30 or so minutes ago, just watched episodes 11 and 12 of Ice Queendom. And, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It happened again. That's the RWBY tell all is I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know how I feel.
Mhm.
I don't know what I just watched. At least the money came back.
Money did come back. Um, a lot of cool transitions. A lot of cool shots that kind of like they weren't needed. They were kind of necessary, but I appreciated them as a nerd. I was like, wow, that's a cool shot right there.
They
That
also use
transition,
really
very cool.
interesting perspectives.
Yeah, at the detriment of some of the fights, they used some really out there perspective. I'm assuming, maybe this isn't normal for this. What is it, Shaft? Maybe they got poached because all the real animators are on One Piece and Chainsaw Man
No,
right now.
yeah,
But
Chainsaw Man. Mappa took every animator in the industry and put them on Chainsaw Man.
yeah, and I'm guessing whatever scraps, like whatever hidden talent is left over is on Bleach. So, you got to make do with what you can, and that's putting money in episodes 1 and 2, and then some into episode 11, 12. But that was certainly an ending. We probably should have watched the last three all together because watching just the last two was like the most disorienting thing I've ever seen. Like, wow, what a conclusion.
It wasn't disorienting. I know exactly what I was looking at. I wish I wasn't looking at it.
Yeah, okay, that's truer than what I said. I knew what I was looking at, so it wasn't like whiplash or anything like that. But it was just like episode 11 wrapped everything up and like a perfect way to just end the series and be like, hey guys, thanks. GG's go next. And then the next episode was just like, hey, we wanna do the food fight. How do we get there? And then they got to the food fight, and then that was the end of the series, I guess. I don't
They
know.
skipped Penny doing the unlimited Blade Works thing to animate a fucking food fight.
Yeah, Penny's Kamehameha just got skipped, and I'm like, wow,
Like,
that's gosh.
what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man?
I'm not sure. Um, it feels like they want to write their own thing because there are flashes of like enjoyment that I got out of some of those slice of life scenes because I feel like there's like not enough of them in Ruby. And I know some people are gonna point to Volume Five's existence as being one of the slowest parts of the show, but it's like we were talking about this too when I was reading Shonen Jump. A lot of series don't do like small character interactions, and a lot of series don't do them well. And I feel like Ruby falls in that area to where it's just like ever since it was go time, like ever since the like veil, pardon for the pun, but ever since the veil of peace was like lifted from the show, the characters haven't really just talked and like hung out much because it's always like serious mode go time. Like it's implied that they do off screen, but like you know, you could show us like every once in a while, like some characters that you would never expect to hanging out. Like when Dragon Ball had that baseball game and everybody started cheating. That's cool
Serious
stuff to
mode
see.
go time in Ruby is very funny because even when it's downtime, it's just nobody's doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, the downtime is fun. That's some of the best moments in the series, but which isn't saying much. But yeah, I ended up enjoying 12 more than 11. Because nothing happened in 11. 11 was just the end. Ruby popped her silver eye nonsense, and we both just went, yeah, okay.
You know what I just realized?
What?
They did say that the first three episodes would recap volumes 1 and 2, but we were just in volume 1, and
Yeah,
the first episode of volume 2 was the last
the end of
episode
the
of the
series.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
Somebody lied, but that's fine. Uh, Rooster Teeth lies all the time, so this is nothing new. But yeah, I know the people are gonna be upset about continuity and all that. However, she did use that Silver Eye shit. And when she used it the first time in the actual show, that should put her down for at least 3 weeks. And this time I put her down for all of 0 seconds.
I mean, to be fair, she wasn't freezing a gigantic dragon sieging a building. It was just implants.
But if it's strong enough to let the valve out, because this is the first time she's used it. Like the first time she's used it. You would think it would be a little bit more than just like I used it and I can still keep fighting. That just seems kind of weird to me.
Listen, them boys did not care. They wanted to do some cool shit.
Sure.
I'm lying. You know what? I want to see what outfits these guys would have came up with without insight or oversight from the character designers.
Well, like the
Go,
Rooster Teeth
go
character
yeah,
designer?
go ahead and let Shaft just go free.
I
They would have put
mean,
some mess on there, man.
can't be much worse than some of the other outfits they made for like mobile games and stuff like that.
They would have had them out there. Nah, Yang would have looked crazy. Like just thinking about it, Yang and Blake
Yeah,
would have looked
nah,
nuts.
nah, that's fine. That's fine.
Like
Anyways,
I feel like they wouldn't have changed Ruby at all. Weiss would have. I mean, they already gave her the S Death costume,
all right.
and then what is it? But I know that Yang and Blake costume would have been nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, their original costumes are kind of nuts to begin with, so. Well, at least Yang's is. Blake's is kind of whatever. A standard, like, something a gymnast would wear. But I think the most disappointing thing is that, like, technically John's in the show, but considering we're in volume one, that he's not allowed to be in the show.
Yeah,
But like this shit breaks canon anyway, so why not just like I don't get like why this like why can't anybody fuck with the beginning? Like why can't anybody just rewrite this shit? Like why can't we do that?
uh,
What are we afraid of?
well, we're in too fucking deep. That's what it is.
No, because like
You want to just opt
every
out now?
what do you mean opt out?
Because this is supposed to be canon adjacent, which is basically just canon.
Right.
And if they just
But
start tweaking shit, then I mean, you might as well just rewrite the entire show.
I mean they already have started tweaking shit. Like
Yeah, they took Cardin out the damn show. Can't believe
took
this.
well no, he was in for his one scene like he
Like I
always is,
said, they
but
took Cardin out the damn show
fucking shit like Weiss talking to Big Nicholas never happened. Got my fault. Nicholas, Shani, whatever you want to
that we
call
know
him.
of.
That never happened. I mean, if they write it in now, they can do that. But I mean,
I mean, they're probably gonna write in all this shit.
probably,
That's probably
probably.
gonna be the because what you call it the teaser or whatever it dropped for Volume 9, and it's them being in this I guess dreamscape or whatever, and they introduced a character that uses a dream catcher. Like
But it's not even like
they've already
these
started.
niggas are asleep, are they? Because they're just in another dimension. And that nigga was talking about some I look into people's hearts. So unless they're gonna I don't know summon their body back using something like by looking into their heart, or maybe they're down there. Maybe that's what happened. We haven't seen them since volume one because they got caught and they're on Destiny Island. And now Team Movie's meeting up with them to get them back. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. I
Listen,
just feel like with all the different like adjacent sources you've told the same story every time. That doesn't get boring to you. It's the same story every time. None of them do anything different. they might add like little fights here and there that might could have happened in the show, but you don't want to change like drastic sweeping changes. That's not interesting to you.
I do
This is
find
like
it.
the closest we've gotten to a drastic sweeping change, and the only thing is that Ruby used her eye powers 2 seasons earlier.
Yeah,
That's the only thing. And even she doesn't even remember. So technically that still could have happened.
yeah.
Not good that it happened, but it still could have it's just it's so boring.
Honestly, the way they put it together, it didn't even need to happen. Cause she was being that shit just fine.
Yeah.
They did it just as a nod to if you know, you know.
And maybe they felt that like the eye powers is too much of a Deus Ex, so like, hey, we gotta like intro it here, even though it's still a Deus Ex. It's not any less of a Deus
Yeah,
Ex.
it's
Here,
going to be regardless. Like we, that's the whole beginning of the show. Is Ozpin's like, yo, so about the eyes. What the eyes do?
and then the rest of the show, it's literally just the Weiss Blake show. It's cool, I
Yeah,
guess.
trauma dumping on your viewers. You know,
I love it.
I love getting trauma dumped on by TV shows.
Uh,
It's my favorite gimmick.
Other than that, yeah, the last two were really nothing to talk about. The series as a whole is a big whatever to me. Like I'm really down on this. I didn't
Yeah,
expect to be, but I'm super down on this.
I expected nothing, and that's what I really got.
And
But
I don't wanna say like it has to be like corporate politics, right? So where it's just like Rooster Teeth is like, all right, you can do this, this, and this with the show, but you can't do this, this, and this with the show.
well,
And then niggas are like, well, how about you suck a dick? But both of us need money, apparently, so we'll do it anyway.
you're fucked up.
How am I fucked up?
Tell them fuck off, man.
I listen. Rooster Teeth is owned by WB. WB is not fuck with them animation niggas, so it's looking real shaky for you Ruby fans out there.
That is crazy.
I'm not crazy. Um, yeah, no, this just a cursed franchise. Like everything about the franchise is just cursed.
All this made me want is for them to just continue, like just keep going, and at this point, don't even bother making it canon. Just keep going.
I feel like the if because what I thought this was just gonna be 12 episodes of straight just like injected crack. Like, what if we just took the craziest batshit ideas that we could think of and then just had the Ruby characters do that? And for like a single episode, that was it. That first episode that Ruby's in there, that shit was nuts. And then the rest of the season was just like, all right, we're gonna do the same boring, stale shit over and over again.
I really
And
don't
then
like that they kept getting kicked out of the dream.
yeah,
Like that was no, because they were wasting coins on decoys and other shit.
all
Like
right.
Ruby's semblance is in a get out of jail free card, which she uses quite often in the series.
Like a Dreamscape coin magic system is cool, but the way they use it was just so boring and whack. Um, but the concept is fire. Like the idea that they came up, it's probably like some standard shit, but it was a cool concept. It's just that the execution just wasn't there. So to who's that guy was slandering Genu Urabuchi? I wasn't really familiar with your game. I apologize, but
What fucking folk?
whoever took the concept that you came up with and wrote it, I need them fired. Cause boy, was that some trash. Just cut that off, man. But I actually do want them to continue because I feel like I don't know. I just felt like, except for Pyrrha, but I mean that's just Pyrrha. Except for Pyrrha, everybody, no, actually, no, except for everybody in Team Juniper that isn't John. Uh, all the characters felt like it had that volume 1 to 2 feel when I was watching the show for the first time. Like they all felt fun and not doomers. And Ruby had a personality. Like, it was very fun. It's just that I look at the actual like story and I'm like, wow, I don't want to watch this. But if you had them like hanging out and doing nothing, I'd watch that. Characters are fine.
Penny disappeared from the show, by the way.
Yeah, that happens.
Like, I know Penny wasn't supposed to be a big part of season 1/2 or whatever, but Penny showed up and disappeared from the show all in the same frame.
Yeah, they had her show up midway through the conflict to kind of drop words of wisdom on Yang, and then she doesn't check up after they win. Hey,
Sun
glad you
comes
guys
back
made it out.
because Sun is supposed to be there because it sets up the Vital Festival,
Yeah,
which is very weird to set that up. Like I know you can do these things without because it's supposed to be canon. You do these
yeah.
things without actually having to follow up on them. But I do
It's
find it very
good.
weird that they even bothered to adapt this episode. Like a couple weeks back, we well I laid out the way the show would end, where 12 would probably end with the big fight, but no, they decided to go for big fight ends on the before the penultimate week, and we'll just give you a cute little slice of life, whatever to deal with.
Let's have everybody talk about their fifis for 23 minutes, and then we'll end off on a big, on some nice stills that you can make your wallpaper, and then let's get out of here.
Yeah,
It
they
will
got out of
not
there
be
quick.
nice. It will not be a nice Queendom season 2. Rooster Teeth will instead just save up the dollars and wait for Mappa to become available.
Could you fucking imagine?
That would be so funny, bro.
You know, I have a feeling that the only reason this wasn't Trigger was because they were working on the Cyberpunk cartoon.
Yeah, Trigger
And
had
if this
enough.
was animated by Trigger, I wouldn't even bother to watch it.
Oh my
I
god,
wouldn't have cared to watch it.
it would have been so good. I would have just turned the audio off so I don't have to hear any dialogue, but it would have been so good. Oh my god.
I'm number one Trigger hater.
Well, that's because you be doing stuff like actually listening to them characters speak, bro.
What the fuck, bro? What does that mean?
That's your problem. If there was a way to just turn the dialogue off, keep all the sound effects and music, and I just watch the pretty pictures go at it,
He wants
I
the
would do that.
pre-production cut.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want no voice acting. Don't tell me the story because I don't care. Because I know it's some nonsense because it's triggered.
Trigger just put the shit together. They get a
Not
pass
a.
just by making shit beautiful.
ex-
Don't watch anything else though.
I mean, it's not a pass. I said what I said.
Well, no,
It's
I'm
a
saying
fucking.
everybody else is giving it a pass because everybody else has watched Cyberpunk and they're like, oh, it's the best show I've seen, and I know they're talking about visually. Like I know nothing else matters when talking about Trigger cartoons, so you know how that goes.
Oh, my
But in
first.
conclusion, we've said it. There's really nothing to talk about in these last 3 episodes. It
Yeah.
uh 11 and 12 were pretty for all of the good reasons, and the episodes were bad for all of the good reasons. Well, bad
Don't
in
worry, we'll get it.
quotations.
We'll get it next time, team.
We won't get
We'll,
another chance. Volume 9 is
uh,
going to come out, and I'm going to be watching Scuffed Kingdom Hearts. And don't get me wrong, I like Kingdom Hearts, but it's very easy to try and adapt something Kingdom Hearts like and make it very scuffed.
when Michael Mouse shows up, don't say anything, okay?
I fucking hope so. Are you shitting me? If that
Don't
mouse
say
pops, it's a
anything.
10 out of 10.
Oh my
Just like
god.
the way Onyx lies with One Piece, I will lie for that fucking that RWBY volume. I've been nothing but fair to these fucking RWBY volumes and this anime. But once that mouse shows up, if that mouse shows up, it's 300% show mode
Oh
activated.
my god. I mean, they might as well add some super fantasy stuff. I mean, they do have the little mouse people, but if they just add a
Oh,
full
there
on
is a mouse in the damn show.
yeah,
Forgot.
full on anthropomorphic Sonic the Hedgehog type mouse, and his name is Michael
I
Mouse.
really, really did not like the dialogue in that little teaser when she's telling that damn mouse. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it.
You know how weird that dialogue is?
It's because they're trying to write it to where Ruby has to assume that the mouse knows nothing, and the mouse also has to convey to the audience that the mouse knows nothing. So it's just really like we're getting nowhere with this type of dialogue. Hey, do you know what? Do you know where Blake is? What's a Blake? Oh, Blake is a person. She's got cat ears. Ah, I'm
What's a
afraid of
person?
cats because I'm a mouse.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, man.
I would have put that mouse back on the floor and kept walking. You
Yeah, I would
stupid.
have just gave up, man. All right. Well, thanks for playing, Mouse. You're staying
Man,
here.
I'll be going now. Thanks.
Jesus Christ.
Like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff is it's always hard to do and like especially like, when you're doing improv like D&D, you kind of have to like balance between what your character would know and how they act between like what would make sense for the time period they're in because there's many different ways you can go with like a medieval times, I guess. I don't know what time period you would qualify that mouse to be. But, do clocks exist? Do cars exist? Um, do like on your Naruto shit, do wheels exist? Like what's going on here? Do trains exist?
Do
How far
wheels
along are
exist is the craziest thing to ask.
it's a crazy statement, but sometimes you gotta ask that. Like what's happening here, right?
They come from a place with flying pelicans and like hyper advanced everything. Their telephones are like glass LED screens that fold in and out.
Oh no, I'm talking about like
Oh, where they are now?
in general, yeah, in general, like a fantasy world. Whenever you do something like that, you have to like I guess creating a fantasy world. You have to ask like what time period the like fantasy world is in. Uh, Ruby definitely has rules because Yang is a fucking motorcycle, but essentially it's just like if you were to kind of like try, it's the isekai thing where let's go with ReZero for instance. Subaru gets sent to who knows where, and then he has to ask a bunch of questions to figure out what type of medieval world I'm working with here. Like, if I say watch, you're gonna look at me crazy. Like, are there clocks? Or there's like, have you guys figured out that springs can do this crazy ass shit? Do wheels exist? Are you people like Neanderthals that carry around everything? Like, um, do oil lamps exist? Shit like that. And it's just like baking that into dialogue and making it sound natural is hard because one person that knows and one person that doesn't know is always going to be awkward. Because because Ruby and that mouse speak the same common English, right?
Yeah.
But the mouse is so much dumber than her, and it's frustrating to just sit there and listen to. Like, what is it? The meme that always goes around. I'm gonna go back in time and make a Victorian child listen to TK and watch his Rainbow. If Ruby
Why
pulls out
is
his,
that the there's so many iterations of that and that's the one you chose. That's what you put together.
if Ruby pulls out this scroll and it shows her a video of Pyrrha, is that mouse is going to just explode.
No, she's gonna show that video appear and the mouse is gonna say, I know that person.
Okay, we're done here.
That's where we're ending. We're done.
Yeah.
Fuck it. In closing, overall, Ice Queendom, I will give it a thumb slightly pointing up, simply because it's pretty. Nothing else.
I'm just gonna
Well,
open my
pretty in
hand.
places and nothing else.
Yep. I'll open my hand up. Whatever that means, you decide. But I just have an
Mm.
open palm facing the camera right now.
You see that
That's
there
how
is nothing in this poem.
it.
That is what I've gotten from this show. Nothing.
Oh my god.
Thank you for watching. I've turned this shit off. I told you there's no outro. Goodbye.